Well, according to the file name, this is a bootleg. And so that beginning is Neo Geo, so it's a
世にも
bootleg
珍しい押し物パズル
Geo game. Well, in typical Neo Geo fashion, it's English.
ジントリック
So let's give Zintrick a shot. Alright, we are one play. So you have to press the second button. Okay. You know, I feel like the text speed is a little too fast for a person to actually read this. Especially a person who has to not only have, like, understand the words, but also to transfer the words into your brain. And then, in turn, make sense of it. Well, on the bright side, it is a standard versus puzzle game. On the downside, with, like, 5 screens of rules, this probably isn't gonna be the... Okay, so it's like sideways Puyo Puyo. Whoa, that was unexpected. Okay, so just 3 touch, and then combos like Puyo Puyo, but it's to the side, so good luck getting used to that. Well, I mean, if you have to make your own versus puzzle game, and like you want to style it after Puyo Puyo, but that's all you got, then well, might as well give it a shot. Oh my gosh. Well, these are some characters. And there's a bug. Well, let's choose our character in the fairest way possible, but man, this is quite the array. Well, frankly, this is like kind of puzzle bobble levels of character. Oh. And we chose the boring default character anyway. Fair enough. Okay, let's see if we can put any of this into prac. Which one am I? Okay, I'm the one on the left, and the one on the right. Oh, that's interesting. Well, okay, so when the meter runs down, does it shoot it automatically, or what? Okay, so it shoots it automatically, but you do get a rather generous amount of time to plan out your moves. Okay, now let's see if we can make this work. Already we know it's not going to, but, well, okay. Now, say what you will, but a lot of Puyo Puyo games, well, okay, Puyo Puyo attempted clones, they like to like pretend like they're Puyo Puyo games. This isn't gonna work, is it? Okay. They like to pretend like they're Puyo Puyo games, but when you actually get down to it, their actual gameplay is pretty much nothing like Puyo Puyo. Now, this game, to its credit, is pretty much just sideways Puyo Puyo. Now, I find it slightly disconcerting that the enemy has sent us absolutely no garbage, and that I'm not given a purple. Oh, yes, E2 chain. Entirely planned, by the way. Well, jeez. It's a little bit tough. I mean, it's sideways Puyo Puyo. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not exactly the kind of thing you can do while just narrating your heart out. Well, okay. I did at least a combo. Oh, weird. So when we clear things, it seems that it sort of prioritizes clearing our board first before sending trash to the opponent, which kind of flies in the face of offense-minded Puyo Puyo. This is very weird. And then, well, okay, if you send extra, then you won't go off. Like, this is just... It's strangely generous in, like, how much time it gives you to ponder over things. But of course, like, the opponent is good enough that you can't just sit around and think all day. And okay, so the timer does increase. Now, I'm not really sure if this is an actual game or, like, a fake game, but I'm assuming this is a prototype, or maybe there actually was a real game called Zintrick, and then they just made this, but I don't know. I think like they should have actually made this. It seems like there's some real potential. Hey, now there's a 5th color. Okay, scrap the game. This game is irredeemable. There's nothing here to see. You can't... Oh, this just got absurd. Now it's just a bunch of blobs shooting at each other. Oh my gosh. This is like Puyo Puyo when you get to the 2nd or 3rd round of enemies. But like, unlike Puyo Puyo, this is the first match. We're not even done. What is up with this garbage amount? Oh, that is a unique way to do things. So apparently, if you lose one of your rows, push C. Oh, okay. So that counts as a victory.
Go!
Also, there's no music, but that's probably the least broken thing here. So when one of the lanes fills, then you can't move over anymore, which, well, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely an annoyance that you have to deal with. Well, yeah, you could set off a chain, but why not make the biggest chain you can imagine? And then I'll drop these guys off, and I will work my way to a, hey, what do you know, it's a blue! Combo, combo, combo. Most of that was planned. Yeah, just like Puyo Puyo, you get one good combo in, and you just completely decimate your opponent. Yeah, it kind of goes to because again, this is like Puyo Puyo 1, not Puyo Puyo 2, so it really goes to show like why they added in some garbage balancing stuff where you can like actually fight back. Although it is kind of interesting, because like I said, oh, you actually send garbage on the row that you send garbage at. Oh, that is well, I did not expect that. Okay, that's kind of a neat touch. It's a more or less impractical touch, but it's a neat touch nonetheless. Also, there's an item. I didn't get to use it because I completely destroyed my opponent so quickly, but maybe like... Well, somebody watched Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I guess if you want some actual strategy for this game, you want to build a big chain, but you want to build it in the center. And then that way you send it off, and then you just completely mess up your opponent. Because as soon as they can't move in the center anymore, then, well, the war is won, so to speak. I wonder, does annoyance help? Well, even for a mere 2-chain, you do send a decent amount of garbage. It's nothing I would call substantial, but again, all you need to do is poke at just the right time. So I guess, gameplay-wise, maybe it's a little bit more aggressive than Puyo Puyo, where you're sort of incentivized to attack quick and attack fast. Again, this is, oh geez, very much a response to the original Puyo Puyo, though, not any sort of newfangled Puyo Puyo 2 with garbage canceling. They're like, what's that? I don't understand. You want to send garbage back? And, okay, I guess I have sent some garbage to him. It's very disorienting without any sort of music to know how well you're doing against the other guy. Because usually in Puyo Puyo there'd be like some sort of death music. Although I guess it's a little bit harder to see like just how hard up you are in terms of, I don't know, not dying. Well, I'm still torn though. Is it a fundamentally good game or a fundamentally bad game? Well, you know, they say that all ideas are sort of fundamentally the same and that there are no more original ideas. Of course, there have been many original ideas since those words. But, I mean, it doesn't change much from the Puyo Puyo formula. Still, though, it's ultimately not bad. Ryu Eagle.
Ready, go!
Well, as entertaining as it is to, oh wow, this guy is fast. Let's see if he's any good. Because in Puyo Puyo, like once you get to the second or third round, then you start facing enemies like No Ho Ho, who they use a relatively simplistic strategy, but they move at light speed. And frankly, there is not much you can do once they start getting going. Yeah, this guy doesn't really seem to have any strategy. He's just kind of No Ho Hoing it, which is pretty much when you just fill up your side with crap, and then you hope that some of it triggers a lucky chain, and then you have it attack the other guy, which, well, it works. Like, if you use it, people will laugh at you, but it does, in a sense, work. Since looking things up is probably more entertaining than actually playing the game, let's look this up. Zintrick. What do we get? Oh, okay, there's an entry already. Huh, okay, so Zintrick was actually released. Puzzle game by ADK apparently was released only on Neo Geo CD. So maybe what we're seeing is a bootleg that brings the Neo Geo CD version to the arcades. Yeah, so here's a review, possibly showing that this is in fact a real game. I kind of like when the reviewer says it's a pretty damn good game. It's like, no duh, because it's Puyo Puyo. But, well, okay, so that is the weird story of Zintrick. It's apparently a bootleg, but that's only because it was released on the Neo Geo CD, and not the actual arcade Neo Geo. Still, it's kind of cool. It's definitely an interesting game. Well, so Zintrick, an interesting game. Now, it's perhaps more clone-like than many other games. You could refer to it as just sideways Puyo Puyo. But I kind of feel like there's a certain amount of new brilliance to it. I mean, again, you block off enemies' lanes, so certain lanes have more strategic value than others. And I guess if you want to be super strategic, then you could actually see where the enemy character is, and then try to block them off into a small place. I mean, that's not necessarily... Well, it's an interesting bit of strategy, but I still feel like regular Puyo Puyo was kind of better at a tactical thing. Because it's like Puyo Puyo, it's like, the only way to get really good is make big combos. And it's like, if you do it though, then that's a real sign of skill. With this game, there's a bit of luck, and there's a bit of like random chance, and a little bit of getting lucky, and it's like, okay, oh, you blocked them off here, oh, well, they're real screwed now. And, well, but then again, I mean, like, Puyo Puyo Bo with more luck, it's like, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And you look at a lot of the recent Puyo Puyo releases, and they kind of include, like, a party mode or something, because I'm pretty sure the creators know by now. It's like, Puyo Puyo is a super hardcore game. It's like, you play actual competitive person versus person. It is a beautiful sight to behold, but you put the controllers in the hands of two relative newbies and have them fight, and it is... well, it is not satisfying, to say the least. Does Zintrick solve that problem? I don't know. Does Zintrick have cuter Puyos than Puyo Puyo? Well, maybe. But again, it definitely helps that it's on the Neo Geo, which is, I don't know, 16-bit or something, whereas Puyo Puyo System 32 was... well, this is all getting confusing. But the point is, the Puyos here are bigger, so that makes them better. More and more personality. Plus, the blue ones actually have sunglasses. I mean, I know it was always implied that the Puyos and Puyo Puyo, the blue ones had sunglasses, but this one, they actually have them. Well, that was Zintrick. Oh, more of these characters. Yeah, they have better character animations than Puyo Puyo 2. I'll give them that. But, well, it's a fun game. I liked it better when it was called Puyo Puyo. And on that note, this cat's got a scat.